Well, welcome to the EU's latest attempt to turn survival into a lifestyle brand. The European Union has officially gone full prepper mode. All right, so forget your sourdough starters and your pandemic puzzles. This time, it's all about the 72-hour bug-out bag. I'm looking forward to this one. This is going to be a good one. Hello, I'm Adam Cherry, and this is GBN Originals. Well, Mihaja Labib, she is the EU's Commissioner for Preparedness and Crisis Management. I mean, honestly, you fall asleep before you even get to the end of her title, but never mind. She's here, as you can see, to guide us through what she says are the essentials for surviving geopolitical chaos. I mean, I'm glad she's got time to do this, right? It's a very busy job. It's a very, very important role. I've already forgotten what her title is. But nonetheless, look, she's got time to teach us how to survive a nuclear apocalypse. I'm all for it. I think it's really important. So let's take a look, shall we? Let's keep going.
It's Mihaja Labib. Welcome to What's in My Bag Survival Edition. First up, my glasses. Super important if you want to see what is happening or not. Next, my document in a waterproof pouch.
Well, okay, fantastic. Right, so you've got your waterproof bag for your documents. Good. Because when disaster strikes, obviously, there's nothing you need more than your tax returns or your ID card. You know, once the missiles rain down, at least you can still tell HMRC that you're owed, what, 500 quid. No problem, but your paperwork's bone dry, so let's carry on. Let's see what else we've got in there. Glasses, very good. Recommend glasses. Absolutely essential in nuclear war. You know, you want to see clearly during a crisis, make the right decisions. She must wear these all the time. So I'm glad she's packed those bad boys, but let's carry on and see what else we got in there.
A must in a rainy Brussels. Now, let's talk about lighting. I have a flashlight. If you don't forget the matches and, of course, the light. Turn.
Look, I know this is a joke, right? Obviously, she doesn't seriously think you need to pack a lighter in the event that Russia launches a bunch of thermonuclear missiles at Brussels. But why are we actually talking about this in the first? Doesn't she have a job to do? I mean, clearly not. Clearly not. I mean, you know, you could argue I don't have much to do either, given that I'm watching it. But look, I'm enjoying it. So let's carry on. So we've got the lighter, we've got the matches. Have we got any food? Hopefully we've got some food at some point.
And water, of course, because water is life.
Yeah, water is life. Good.
And my special friend, a Swiss Army knife. 18 tools in only one knife.
Yeah, good. I've actually got one of those. They're very useful for opening wine bottles. Hopefully she's got a bottle of wine in there as well, actually. By the way, you know, in a real nuclear war, you're going to be dead in about 10 minutes. All you really need in there is arguably some radiation pills and maybe a Bible, if you're into that kind of thing. But we've got a Swiss Army knife and some water. So if you do survive, maybe this is if you're in like the 2nd degree burn zone. She might have some aloe vera in there. Let's find out. Let's keep going.
A must-have. And don't forget your medication.
There you go, radiation pills.
You might need it, because you never know. And don't forget something to eat. You might be hungry, very hungry. And of course, some cash. In the middle of a crisis, cash is king.
And cash, because when credit cards are just plastic rectangles in an economic meltdown, cash is obviously king. Just don't expect it to buy much when everyone else is hoarding toilet paper. And because the EU, along with most other Western governments, including the UK, have been furiously trying to get us all to stop using cash and pushing the digital economy, think infuriating parking apps, no banking or post offices, and having to pay for coffee with Apple Pay instead of the fiver in your pocket, so on and so on and so on. It seems a bit bloody rich. They're now telling us to hoard it in the event of a crisis, even if it is a bit of a gag. Oh well.
And your credit card might just be a piece of plastic, a charger and a power bank, because a dead phone is a dead end. Playing cards.
Oh, playing cards.
A bit of distraction never hurt anyone. And don't forget the radio. The smaller one.
Okay, we're nearly there. We're in this together. I do like the playing cards, by the way, because obviously when the world is crumbling, you know, what better to pass the time than a bit of solitaire.
Us blokes hate talking about a little thinning up top, and many of us settle with that balding look, but that wasn't for me, and that's why I went to Elite Hair, the world's leading hair loss clinic, and now I've had over 4,000 new hairs added to this barnet, and very soon I'm going to be rocking some brand new flowing locks, and you can too. So how does it work? Step 1, I sent the team a set of photos of my head. Step 2, I then spoke to one of the Elite Hair staff who looked through my photo submissions and worked out a treatment plan for me. Step 3, Elite Hair then organised accommodation and the treatment. treatment. I was at their state-of-the-art treatment centre in Istanbul, and their incredibly kind staff took me through the process, and before I knew it, I was in surgery. Elite Hair and their leading medical experts have specialised in pain-free treatments using the sleep deep method, and they really mean that. I felt incredibly relaxed the whole time, and I haven't felt any pain since. Check out Elite Hair using the link in the description. When you do, Elite Hair will provide you with a free personalised hair analysis. Then you'll join over 100,000 happy patients. Hit that link and start your hair growth journey like I did today.
Bonus points if you wager your canned beans, although she dropped hers, so maybe they're spoiled. So yeah, good food, water, all the essentials. Cash, yeah, we need that as well. That's the only thing that's going to work in a nuclear apocalypse anyway. So your credit card, the contactless, it won't work.
This is everything you need to survive the first 72 hours of a crisis. Speaking about being prepared, the EU is preparing its strategy to be sure that every citizen is safe in case of crisis. Be prepared, be safe.
Hajo, thank you for that. I'm reassured. I'm sure you are as well. I'm sure the Ukrainians are assured by that. Whilst that was playing, although I was really interested in it, I've just been reading. The full title for Hajo Labib is the European Commissioner for Preparedness, Crisis Management and Equality. And equality, but she didn't mention that in any of the in that video at all. So that's clearly the least important part of the job. But look, I know, like I said, I know this is a joke, fine, whatever. But do we need to be doing this sort of thing when there actually are serious issues on, I don't know, the border of Ukraine and Russia? Should that not really be the priority? It does kind of feel like this is all a game and a joke and ha-ha. But there we go. She's the Minister for Equality, Preparedness and whatever the hell. I've already forgotten what her title is because it goes on for about 10 years, a bit like that video. But anyway, if NATO minus the US does go toe-to-toe with Russia, at least you'll have your playing cards and at least you'll have your radio. The EU will come to your rescue unless you get vaporized in the first 5 minutes, which frankly would be a mercy under these circumstances, wouldn't it? Let's face it. Nothing screams solidarity like 450 million people scrambling for canned beans and power banks and maybe some playing cards. So let's talk strategy. Let's get serious for a minute. The EU says this kit is part of their preparedness union strategy. Again, like with all this stuff, it's named so bureaucratic. It was invented by a committee during lunch break. They want us to be ready for everything: floods, cyber attacks, wildfires, war. Hopefully she has time to make preparations for all this stuff whilst also being the Minister for Equality and whatever the rest of her brief is. I can't even remember anymore. By the way, this was posted on X, Twitter, and she actually disabled responses. She's disabled comments on this piece, I think, because she kind of guessed that people weren't going to take too kindly to it. You can still see the quote tweets though, and everyone basically says, "Is this a joke?" i.e. yes, and if so, why? We're not got anything better to do. Apparently not. So like I said, basically no one is particularly happy about this. Yeah, it's a joke. We all know she doesn't actually think you need to fit a radio into your bag whilst nuclear hellfire is raining down on you. But I suppose the point is, why does this even exist in the first place? So some of these comments, this is not serious stuff. It looks more like satire. This is on X. Why do governments like to spread fear? Well, I suppose really it just feels like they're trying to have a bit of a laugh about this. Okay. But again, can we not be doing serious work? I mean, your title is about, like I said, it's about 10 years long. You must have at least something else to do in your intro, but never mind. Glock and extra ammo is noticeably absent from this kit. Okay, so that's Jeff Nolan. He's got a US flag in his bio, so, he's pretty pro-Second Amendment there, I guess. The EU thinks war is a weekend inconvenience reality check. Russia isn't playing. Trump kept peace. Biden invites chaos. Okay, all right. So basically what all this has done is started a bit of a tribal political war of his own in the comments section. Well done. I hope you're happy with that. I really enjoyed watching it. It's good fun. 3 minutes of my life I'll never get back, and now neither will you, I'm afraid, but I hope you enjoyed watching it with me. Well, that's it for now. Normal service, you'll be pleased to know, will resume soon, unless she uploads any more of these TikToks. She might have a hunger for it. Once they upload one of these things and it goes viral, 100 more follow. So, stay tuned. I can only apologise in advance. In any case, keep an eye out on your subscription box to do that and to make sure you don't miss anything. Subscribe to GBN Originals and the GB News YouTube channel on YouTube for more. See you later.